everyone, and welcome. My name is Ari, and I'll be speaking with you all today about an exciting new project and opportunity we're looking at with grassroots ecology. This project will be assessing the use of rainwater collection systems and community gardens within urban areas of the San Francisco Bay. And this is just a quick look at our agenda, what I'll be speaking on. I'll begin with some background of the organization, present the rainwater collection system and community garden project plan, the impact this project would potentially have and why it would be needed, the financial impact of grassroots ecology, the organization, communication or social media strategy surrounding this project, and concluding with a timeline of the project. So, with that, let's go ahead and get started. So, since the start of grassroots ecology in 2016, it now stewards over 2,400 acres with a mission of engaging and educating the public to restore local ecosystems. We have expanded from a single nature preserve and watershed to stewarding 10 cities, preserves, and watersheds throughout Santa Clara and San Mateo counties of Northern California. This is accomplished by hands on service through Bay Area residents as well as volunteers. We engage thousands of people every single year through these avenues of engagement with a goal of sparking their interest and connection to their surroundings and local environment. So we have the opportunity to connect hundreds of thousands of people across these 10 neighboring cities throughout the Bay. Out of the 60 community engagement events so far that we've hosted in the 2022 year, none have satisfied the need for sustainable urban ecology education, nor the implementation of outdoor community gathering spaces. At this time, our program offerings support community engagement pieces that center around invasive species mitigation and habitat restoration. Although we've seen these methods be really successful, I'm proposing we expand these offerings to really reach a wider audience as our geographic region has also grown in the area that we steward. In addition to invasive species mitigation and habitat restoration, I would also like to introduce a program that has potential to have a long-term community engagement impact, which is a current gap in our program. So, my proposed plan includes the insertion of rainwater collection systems throughout the 10 San Francisco Bay Area cities we steward. These systems would then be used to feed into a community garden within each of those cities. Project objectives would include providing hands on engagement through environmental stewardship, building stronger and healthier communities, and providing equitable access to green space in cities. We plan to incorporate a 200 square foot garden in each city, which is approximately the size of a two-car garage. With about 1 pound of food produced per square foot, harvesting it would result in 200 pounds of food per year in each city. So not only would this provide a method of fresh food access, but also, again, a source of long-term engagement that folks could go back to. A study was conducted on poverty in the Bay Area that shows although 20% of households are considered to be living in poverty, an alarming one half or 1 in 2 Black, Indigenous, people of color, or BIPOC identifying households are struggling to get by or are living paycheck to paycheck. This project proposal has potential to target these underserved communities by providing equitable access to environmental resources. Now, looking at our impact, so why community gardens? Well, the CDC reports that less than half the people who live in the United States live within walking distance. Walking distance defined here is a 1/2 mile from a green space. So we cannot claim to engage our community by connecting them to their local ecosystems if we are, in fact, only targeting those privileged enough to volunteer their time to travel to public lands. In order to adequately engage and serve our growing geographic region and still fulfill our values as an organization, we must adapt to meeting community members where they are at and keeping in line with inclusion as one of our core values and our vision of engaging and sustaining a socially diverse stewardship community. This project will provide access to residents of all backgrounds and socioeconomic status to gather together and engage in community building. Okay, so the first year of this project would be spent to acquire necessary funding in the amount of $50,000, which is less than 2% of our overall annual budget, which you see on the left here. This cost would cover the rainwater collection barrels and the garden space for all 10 cities. This would be attained through grants as well as a capital campaign. Grants listed here are just some examples of grant opportunities that we meet the qualifications for, that also have upcoming cycles in the winter and spring. The social media campaign Bay Area Garden Project will be launched via Instagram. The decision for this social media platform was really made due to our active presence on Instagram and where we have the largest following. Our engagement piece will include residents taking selfie images of themselves in green spaces outdoors with the hashtag Bay Area Garden Project to help spread awareness. And in addition to this, there will also be a tiered thank you to our donation program, which begins at $10. Looking at this chart here, $10 would result in a personalized thank you email. A $20 donation, the individual would receive a recipe featuring some of our organic crops. $30 donation would result in a grassroots ecology sticker that would be mailed. A $50 donation would result in a pack of in-season seeds that would be mailed. And a donation of $100 or more would result in their name being displayed on a garden bench of the community garden within the region that they reside. So once funds have been secured, we will begin the project in phases. The project timeline is here, broken down into quarters. In quarter one, really focusing on mapping out where each community garden space and rainwater collection system would sit. Quarter two, preparing that land, getting it ready for the garden space. Quarter three would be the insertion of the rainwater collection systems in all 10 cities. And quarter four would be the building out of each garden. So that would include anything from garden boxes to shade structures to seating areas. We would begin facilitating education and engagement opportunities for community members as well, so they could then take over stewarding that space. And I want to thank you all so much for your time today. Thank you for joining me. If you have any comments or questions about this new project, you can reach out to the email below. Thank you again so much. List of references here.